to another story time with Meriel. Now, this weekend I was meant to be hosting a special event on the Eyfs of Scillly for all the families that wanted to come on a walk with me, and it was going to be the Lighthouse Keepers Lunch. So unfortunately people can't join me today, but I thought I'd go ahead and run the walk for you so that you can enjoy the beautiful Eyfs of Scillly. Now before we start, can you look really closely at your televisions or your mobile phones, and can you point to a lighthouse for me? Can you see it? Is it right out there? Is that Round Island Lighthouse? Very well done! That was really good! Are we ready to start our story? I've got Mr. Grinling with me, and I've got a picnic basket too. Here we go. Lighthouse Keepers Lunch. Once there was a lighthouse keeper called Mr. Grinling. At night time he lived in a small white cottage perched high on the cliffs. In the daytime he rowed out to his lighthouse on the rocks to clean and polish the lights. Mr. Grinling was a most industrious lighthouse keeper. Come rain or shine, he tended to his light. Sometimes at night, as Mr. Grinling lay sleeping in his warm bed, the ships would toot at him to tell him that their light was flashing brightly and clearly out to sea. Each morning, while Mr. Grinling polished the light, Mrs. Grinling worked in the kitchen of the little white cottage on the cliffs, making a delicious lunch for him. Once she had prepared the lunch, she packed it into a special basket and clipped it onto the wire that ran from the little white cottage to the lighthouse on the rocks. Boats, and nowadays they race them to see who can be the fastest. But back in the olden days, boats like this used to be the lifeboats that would go out to rescue people. Now back to our story. Do you remember Mrs. Grinling was in her white cottage preparing the food for Mr. Grinling? So here we go. But one Monday, something terrible happened. Mrs. Grinling had prepared a particularly appetising lunch. She had made a mixed seafood salad, a lighthouse sandwich, cold chicken garnet, sausages and crisps, peach surprise, icy biscuits, drinks and assorted fruit. She put the lunch into the basket, and as usual she sent it down the wire. But the lunch did not arrive. It was spotted by 3 scavenging seagulls who set upon it and devoured it with great gusto. "Clear off, you varmint!" shouted Mr. Grinling, but the seagulls took not the slightest bit of notice.
"Oh, this is an excellent peach surprise, boys. Oh, she's a great cook, Fred. Oh, scrumptious lunch, Tom."
That evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling decided on a plan to baffle the seagulls. "Tomorrow I shall tie the napkin to the basket," said Mrs. Grinling. "Of course, my dear," agreed Mr. Grinling. "A sound plan." Uh-oh.
"They'll have to try harder than this to stop us, Bert."
On Tuesday evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling racked their brains for another plan. "They are a brazen lot, those seagulls," said Mrs. Grinling. "Brazen isn't indeed, said Mr. Grinling. What shall we do? Our cat does not appear to like seagulls, said Mrs. Grinling. No, my dear, said Mr. Grinling. Hamish is an accomplished seagull chaser. Of course, she exclaimed Mrs. Grinling. Tomorrow, Hamish can guard the lunch. A most ingenious plan, agreed Mr. Grinling. Hamish did not think that this plan was ingenious at all. He spat and he hissed at Mrs. Grinling, secured him in the basket. There, Hamish, said Mrs. Grinling. I'll have a tasty piece of herring waiting for you when you arrive home. Look where we are now. We're down on the beach and I can see Star Castle up on the hill there, which is the shape of a star. I can see lots of boats in the harbour, and can you spot the end of the quay? And what I was thinking was, imagine if we had a big rope from here to the end of the quay, and we could send our basket all the way down to the men working on the quay. Wouldn't that just be so much fun? I wonder what treats they'd like in our picnic basket. Right, we're ready to share our story again with you. Here we go. Sadly, Flying did not agree with Hamish. His fur stood on end when the basket swayed, his whiskers drooped when he peered down at the wet blue sea, and he felt much too sick even to notice the seagulls, let alone scare them away from the lunch.
Pretty pussy like a piece of lobster morn, eh? This food gets better every day, Fred.
Aren't you going to chase us, pussy? Lackaday, lackaday, said Mr. Grinling sadly. Meow, meow, agreed Hamish pitifully. On Wednesday evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling racked their brains again for a new plan. What shall we do, said Mr. Grinling. Mr. Grinling looked thoughtful. I have it, she said. Just the mixture of hungry seagulls. Indeed, my dear, said Mr. Grinling. What have you in mind? Wait and see, said Mr. Grinling. Just wait and see. Mustard sandwiches, chuckled Mr. Grinling. A truly superb plan, my dear. Truly superb. On Thursday morning, Mrs. Grinling carefully packed the mustard sandwiches and sent them off down the wire to the expecting seagulls. On Friday, Mrs. Grinling repeated the mustard mixture. All right, boys, let's go and have lunch elsewhere. It's the same as yesterday's lunch, Fred. So on Saturday, up in the little white cottage on the cliffs, a jubilant Mrs. Grinling put away the mustard pot before she prepared a scrumptious lunch for Mr. Grinling. While he waited for his lunch down in the lighthouse on the rocks, Mr. Grinling sang snatches of old sea shanties as he surveyed the coastline through his telescope. And this is what he saw. No mustard in this lot, Tom. We'll fly back here for lunch again tomorrow, boys. Oh, this is a delicious chocolate eclair, Fred. Oh, well, such is life, said Mr. Grinling as he sat down to enjoy a leisurely lunch in the warm sunshine. Well, I hope you enjoyed sharing the story of the Lighthouse Keepers Lunch with me. I'm sorry that we're unable to have our special walk this weekend, but hopefully you've enjoyed having a pretend walk instead in your house. After our story, there's always a special song that we love to sing, isn't there? Would you like to join me? Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Lay them in your lap, lap, lap. Wave them, wave them, wave them, wave them. High up in the sky, sky, sky. Wave to me.